Yes, I'm interested in marks that are made by people for different reasons. Certainly marks made as art that are intended to be seen by many people. But I especially like sort of doodles and notes that people make to themselves so that they'll know something later, reminders, you know. Over on this side I have a drawing from a friend of mine who is doing some notes, taking a class, it looks like, I'm not even exactly sure, but then he's doing these doodles, these notes, and these heads and these drawings. But that is now worked into my work. Something that someone would have just thrown away, or perhaps did just throw away, and I'm putting in this different context where it must be considered. I do a lot of drawing with water, which is what these are, that I then drop ink into and let the ink run around wherever the water is. It's something I think I first did in elementary school, and some of you have tried it. It's a lot of fun. I love Vellum, you know, its transparency, and because I've always worked in layers, and I like to have underlying things that are hiding and peeking out. I don't like to just have sort of one drawing. I think of it more as many drawings on top of each other. But historically, you know, like old masters, Leonardo would do these preliminary drawings for paintings, and he'd do a foot maybe on the left side, and then a hand above that, and then he'd try the hand again next to that. So there'd be all these little bits that are put, you know, on this page, and you know, it's framed now, and we're looking at it like one composition, but it's really parts of compositions that are just, you know, on this page. Or if you look at botanical drawings, I'm very interested in those. You know, you'll have maybe a flower, and then you'll have the parts of the flower dissected and deconstructed on a page. So this page is describing this flower, but it's broken up into little parts. But then, you know, it does make one composition in the end. There are many different elements in the painting that have been collaged, or there's transfers also, and they all come together to relate as one painting. But they really have very little to do with themselves, perhaps, which I guess is a surrealist idea. And I was definitely very interested in Max Ernst and Kurt Schwitters and artists like that. Throwing together all kinds of debris that doesn't necessarily belong together and then making it work into a cohesive picture. I often end a session in the studio by going home and telling my wife that I ruined another one. And I constantly feel like I ruin my work and then try to fix it. Although generally when I come back the next day, it's not as bad as I thought.
At this point, the feeling is that this is going to be deeply unsuccessful as a final piece. The most successful pieces are where I just step right out of the way and don't engage with it. Erase it. I take it all back, and hopefully I've used a hard enough pencil, a 6H, so that I have just the indentation. And this just makes the cut look cleaner. Mm-hmm. So it disappears. And then I use the knife to create the edge, which will disrupt the surface, which will allow for whatever is going to happen to happen. The third phase is to rupture the surface, to pop them up, so that they sit above and catch the different angles of light. Quite different. At the moment, I think drawing for me is an action. It is, or an act, and I was thinking it's sometimes an act of creation, but sometimes it's an act of just contemplation or concentration, or drawing the repetitive form constantly is a single form of focus, so it really just brings me in and allows me to access a place where more creation can come from, but the ideas sort of come once I'm practicing it rather than trying to think of something to draw. And it also derives from my passion for the white sheet of paper and not wanting to ruin it. And so it's more a drawing out of an energy or of an idea, or just allowing the paper to dictate what it is that will come from it. And the benefit for me is the act of the technique, the cutting, and also the drawing in graphite, and just allowing it to be, which is often the most challenging part. Because a lot of the process relies on just, it's intuitive almost, and that's where the geometry, I'm really interested in sacred geometry, but I don't intellectually engage with it, and I do it all freehand. And often there is just lovely surprises that come from that. It's really allowing me to access almost other realms or states of being. I wouldn't like to say it was therapy, but it kind of is. Yeah.